Amazing Eala praise continues as Jessica Pegula shares her verdict on Filipino fans. Rising star Eala and her army of fans continue to be the talk of tennis, with Jessica Pegula the latest to praise the Filipino player and her supporters. Eala made her top-level breakthrough during the 2025 season, with the Miami Open putting her name in the headlines as she beat Grand Slam winners Yelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek en route to the semifinal of the WTA 1000 event. Her run was eventually ended by Pegula, but she surged into the top 100 of the WTA rankings to become the first Filipina to achieve the feat, while later in the year she made history again when she won her opener at the US Open, again becoming the first woman from the Philippines to win a major match. Eala, who also reached her maiden top-level final last year as she finished runner-up at the Eastbourne Open in June, also peaked at number 50 before the end of the year. Her rise has continued in 2026 as she made it to the quarterfinals of the Dubai Tennis Championships before losing in straight sets against Coco Gauff. The stands at the Aviation Club Tennis Center were filled every time Eala made an appearance, and the likes of Gauff and Amanda Anisimova were full of praise for the Filipina. Eala, who also reached her maiden top-level final last year as she finished runner-up at the Eastbourne Open in June, also peaked at number 50 before the end of the year. Her rise has continued in 2026 as she made it to the quarterfinals of the Dubai Tennis Championships before losing in straight sets against Coco Gauff. The stands at the Aviation Club Tennis Center were filled every time Eala made an appearance, and the likes of Gauff and Amanda Anisimova were full of praise for the Filipina. She handles it so maturely, with such grace. She seems so appreciative of all the support she gets. Always seems to have a good head on her shoulders and a good attitude about it. It's amazing. I played her when she kind of broke out last year in Miami. I'm from there. The whole crowd was against me. I was like, what on earth is going on? Where did these people come from? Week after week, as she has done well and established herself as a really good player on tour, they all come out to support her. I think we saw that in Australia. When it was kind of overcrowded, they put her on too small of a cot. We saw it. Hey, you can hear it from the hotel. You can hear the crowd roaring at night. It's incredible. I think it's awesome for what she's doing for the sport. She's a perfect role model for it. I'm sure she wants to inspire girls, Filipino girls, to play tennis and go after their dream. It's awesome for the sport. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I think we just had a tournament there that she played. Amazing Eala praise continues as Jessica Pegula shares her verdict on Filipino fans. The word amazing gets used a lot in sports. It follows acrobatic winners, impossible comebacks, and fearless teenagers who dare to stand across the net from the world's best. But when it continues to echo long after the final point is played, when it lingers in locker rooms, press conferences, and social media feeds, it begins to mean something more. That is the space Eala now occupies. Still young, still growing, still learning the unforgiving rhythms of professional tennis, Eala has become more than a promising athlete. She has become a symbol of belief, of national pride, of a generation of Filipino dreamers who see in her both reflection and possibility. And when established stars like Jessica Pegula add their voices to the chorus of admiration, the ripple effect travels far beyond the baseline. The rise of a quiet storm. Eala's journey has never been loud. She does not rely on theatrics or fleshy declarations. Her presence is composed, her focus deliberate. But her game, sharp angles, quick anticipation, and that signature left-handed spin, announces itself with authority. For years, Filipino tennis fans had longed for a player who could consistently challenge the sport's elite. They had passion in abundance, history in pockets, and talent in bursts. But sustained presence on the global stage remained elusive. Eala changed that narrative. From junior Grand Slam triumphs to breakthrough performances against higher-ranked opponents, she has steadily chipped away at the invisible ceiling above her. Each match played on international courts carried more than ranking points. It carried expectation. And yet, rather than buckle, She seemed to grow taller beneath it. What makes her ascent amazing is not simply her results. It is the poise with which she navigates the spotlight. She represents her country without appearing burdened by it. She competes with intensity but rarely with panic. There is something deeply compelling about watching a young athlete understand that she is part of something larger than herself and embrace it. A star's recognition. When Jessica Pegula spoke about Eala, there was no hint of polite, surface-level praise. It was admiration rooted in respect, one competitor recognizing the quality and courage of another. Pegula, a seasoned presence on tour, understands the grind of professional tennis. She knows the relentless travel, the isolation, the pressure to defend points and justify rankings. For her to describe Eala as amazing was not just commentary, it was acknowledgement. There is an unspoken fraternity among players who recognize authentic talent. They see what the audience cannot always detect: the heavy training days, the subtle improvements, the mental adjustments that separate prospects from contenders. Pegula's verdict carried weight because it signaled something important. Eala is not merely a sentimental favorite. She is respected within the locker room. The power of Filipino fans. But Pegula did not stop at Eala's skill. She also shared her thoughts on the Filipino fans who have rallied so fiercely behind their rising star. In global tennis, crowd dynamics can be unpredictable. Some audiences are reserved, politely applauding between points. Others erupt with football-like intensity. Filipino supporters fall into the latter category: passionate, vocal, emotionally invested. Pegula described them as electric, their energy unmistakable. For Eala, that energy acts like a second heartbeat on court. For her opponents, it can be both thrilling and intimidating. Filipino fans do not merely watch, they participate. They chant, they wave flags, they rise collectively after breathtaking rallies. In arenas far from Manila, they gather in clusters, their accents unmistakable, their pride palpable. What stands out is not just volume but loyalty. They follow Eala across continents, digitally and physically. When she plays at odd hours, households in the Philippines stay awake. When she advances, social media floods with celebration. When she falls short, encouragement replaces disappointment. Pegula's perspective is telling. As an opponent, she feels the atmosphere shift. She understands that stepping onto the court against Eala often means stepping into a crowd that has already chosen its heroine. Yet instead of resentment, her tone reflects appreciation. In many ways, Filipino fans embody the same resilience that defines Eala's journey. They have waited patiently for a star like her. Now that she has emerged, they intend to be heard. Beyond the baseline, Eala's impact extends beyond match statistics. Young girls in the Philippines now hold rackets with renewed conviction. Tennis academies report increased inquiries. Local tournaments buzz with new ambition. Representation matters. When children see someone who shares their heritage competing at the highest level, the abstract becomes tangible. Eala carries that awareness with grace. She speaks thoughtfully about responsibility, careful not to inflate her role, yet fully acknowledging the doors she may be opening. Pegula's praise reinforces that Eala's story is not confined to one nation's admiration. It resonates across the sport. And when global stars validate a young player's rise, it strengthens belief both at home and abroad. The weight of expectation. With admiration comes expectation. The word amazing can become heavy if repeated too often. It risks turning potential into pressure. But if Eala feels that weight, she disguises it well. Her interviews reflect grounded ambition rather than impatience. She speaks of incremental growth, improving her serve percentage, sharpening her footwork, refining her mental resilience. Tennis history is filled with prodigies who burned brightly before fading. What separates enduring champions from fleeting sensations is often the ability to manage narrative as carefully as technique. Pegula's seasoned voice may serve as both compliment and quiet challenge. To be called amazing is to be recognized. To sustain that label requires relentless work. A shared stage. The beauty of tennis lies in its individual